Oh, yeah, I forget. You want a story? Alright. Well, my name is Miguel Rodriguez, and I'm from Mexico. And I they asked me to tell this story for certain purposes. And so I tell you the story of how I had lunch with the bandito Pancho Villas. Yeah. Well, see, I live in the States, and I have a green card. And the story is true. I swear it on my green card that the story is true. That I went to Mexico to visit my parents, and they had this big lunch set out for me when I got there. And they had tortillas, they had burritos, they had rice, they had beans, they had salad, they had hot sauce, they had tequila. Oh, that was good. You can get good tequila in the States. And I drank a little too much. And my family, they all started taking siestas. And I live in the States. I'm not used to taking siesta. I get after lunch, I go for a walk and in the States, you know. So I do the same thing. I wait till they all go to sleep, and I get up, and I leave my wallet and everything at the house, and I take a walk through this little trail. Well, my parents, they live in a very dangerous place in Mexico. They live in this place where there's lots of bandidos and stuff. So I leave my wallet and everything at the house so I not get stolen. And I walk and I walk and I walk and I walk down this trail, and around this big rock in front of me steps this horse, walks out from behind it. And on the big horse was the evil bandito Pancho Villas. He very big man, and he on big horse, and he looks at me and I look at him, and he looks at me, I look at him, he looks at me, and I look at him, and I say, "Si, senor?" And he looks at me and he says, "Give me all your money." And I tell him, "Why?" And he pulls out his gun and he looks down the barrel at me and he says, "Give me all your money." And I say, "I'm sorry, senor, but I don't have no money." He says, "What do you have?" I say, "I do not have nothing. I left it all at my house, my wallet, my money." He looks at me and he says, "Puke." I look at him and I say, "Puke." He looks at me and he says, "Puke." And I really didn't want to puke. It was very nasty, you know. Not puking is very disgusting. I hate puking. And he says, "Puke." What can I do? He on big horse, he big man, he has big gun. I puke. And then he looks at me and he laughs. And then he looks down the gun at me again and he says, "Eat the puke." I ask him, "Do what?" He looks at me, he says, "Eat the puke." I said, "Man, this is very nasty. Look at the puke, it's very nasty. I don't want to eat the puke." He says, "Eat the puke." I said, "Okay, what can I do?" He has big gun, he on big horse, he big man. And I eat the puke, and it was nasty. It was very nasty. All the beans and the rice and the tortillas and the tequila, and oh, it was very nasty. And I had to eat it. And at least it was warm, but it was very nasty. And then he starts laughing, and he laugh and laugh at my face, and he laugh and he laugh, and he fall off the horse and drops the gun. But I'm clever. I work as a janitor for a school, so I know. I run and I pick up the gun and I get on the horse and I look at him and I say, "Puke." And he stand up and he look at me and he say, "Puke." I look at him down the barrel of the gun and I cock the gun and I say, "Puke." And what can he do? I'm on horse, I have big gun, he puke. And then I look down the barrel of the gun at him and I tell him, "Eat the puke." And he looks at me, he says, "Do what?" I look at him and I say, "Eat the puke." And he didn't want to eat the puke. I mean, it was nasty. There were tortillas and there was beans and there was lots of tequila. But what can he do? I big man, I on big horse, I have big gun, he puke. And that was how I had lunch with the evil bandito Pancho Villas. Can I have my green card back?